Welcome back. The rental crisis, as we know, has gone from bad to worse in Australia, with families now being forced onto the streets. Harrowing tales of homelessness have been pouring in due to a dire shortage of rental homes across the country.
Let's get today's take on this with comedian Lawrence Mooney and Nine Honey's Shelley Horton. Lawrence, I'll go to you first, but this stock shortage is really behind a lot of this, and this is a real issue.
Well, it has been something that's besetting the Western world for a long time, and the signs have been there for decades. You know, it's almost a movie trope when you see a bunch of people under a bridge around a 44-gallon drum in an American movie. That level of homelessness has been in the US, the UK, and now it's visiting us as we notice more people in doorways, more people living in their cars, and we have just been ignoring the housing crisis and the need for not only public housing but community housing to remove women from violent situations, from kids, who have run away from home, and now we've got people setting up tents in tent cities.
Yeah, and after, how many natural disasters in recent years as well that have left people displaced as well, Shelley. When you hear about families living in motels short-term or in their cars even, it's just heart-wrenching, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we've had all the flooding up here in Queensland, and that has displaced a lot of people because it's not safe for them to live in their homes. I'm actually wondering, why don't we have a call out to the Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk. She, is in the middle of building this big wellness camp that was supposed to be for COVID. Why don't we use that as temporary housing for some of these people who are really in need? Because some of them may just need it temporarily to get back on their feet until the insurance is done on the house, or I do believe that rents will be coming down after we've had the big boom of Southerners like me moving up to Queensland. But looking at it nationally, it is definitely a problem that we've turned a blind eye to, and I really agree with Lawrence that it's time that we take the blindfold off and deal with it.
All right, also making news this morning, this could be a solution to a big problem. A Sydney high school has banned the use of mobile phones in classrooms by introducing new lock-up pouches. So since implementing the device, this lock-up pouch, the school noticed a significant drop in behavioural issues, a boost in physical activity. Lawrence, kids don't need these phones.
Adults don't need the phones. The fact that there's been a drop in behavioural issues is no surprise. There should be a ban on it at the kitchen table. In restaurants, there should be mobile phone free zones all over the place, not just schools.
Like smoking.
Yes, and I think that we would be happier for it. At first, our little security blanket would be taken away from us. It's like, oh no, but I need to check Twitter. Have I got enough likes?
there is actually a restaurant in Sydney where they do take your phone away and put it in a little box while you're at the table, and I really enjoyed that, Shelley. It was nice not to have the temptation. How would you feel about that?
Oh, look, I've been to that restaurant and it actually sort of gave me hives when they took my phone away from me. I'm like, who's going to know that I've been here if I haven't photographed my meal? But look, I absolutely love this for this high school, and I think that it should be in all schools because you really don't need your phone. It's not an excuse to say that the parents need the kids to have a phone just so they can call them for their emergencies. They can call the school head office and get an emergency passed on. This is actually just laziness now, and I think it's going to improve everything as well as the behavioural problems, but creativity, communication, all of that. I think it's really good.
It's positive, isn't it?
Oh, what a bunch of old
Just
people
don't make
we
me
are.
give it up.
I know.
Just sort of get the phones away from just have them put a wall with a wire on it, and that's how you call them.
2 cups and a piece of string.
Klondike 555, please, operator. I want to speak to my friend Lucy.
How many years did you age at your birthday on Saturday?
I'm getting very old, you guys.
Klondike 555.
Hello, operator. That's right. This is what I use for the phone.
Lawrence and Shelley, stay with us when we come back.
will.
More comedy gold. Also,
old
an
people.
entire street shut down because of a suspected armed man who actually turned out to be a stripper in a SWAT uniform.
And Schapelle Corby's looking for love, and she's doing it in such a funny way. We'll show you next.
Welcome back. An entire Perth street was shut down after reports of an armed man outside a jewellery store. Residents were shocked when the man turned out not to be a robber, but an exotic dancer who was on his way to work dressed in a police SWAT costume.
Lawrence and Shelley are still here to discuss this. Lawrence, I mean, not again. Am I
What a
right?
terrible mix-up.
How many times has this happened?
Now, I know what you're doing here. You're arming me with all the ingredients of a career ender. I'm not going to rise to the bait. All I want to say Shelley, I've got a couple of...
You got any tips for us?
I've got a couple of big questions here.
Yeah.
First of all, was it a high-powered weapon?
Okay.
Or was it just a tiny pistol? Or was it one of those old blunderbusses where you have to jam the ball and gunpowder down the air?
Oh,
I mean,
no,
what kind of weapon did he have?
Stop.
Well, he would have had, Shelley, he would have definitely had handcuffs.
Yeah, definitely.
And he
Look,
definitely, maybe there might have been a baton, like a long
I don't know about
baton.
and perhaps
a
we could
truncheon.
also just describe
truncheon.
him as a tool.
With his truncheon.
Oh, dear.
What kind of truncheon was it? Was it like one
Look,
of those
there it is.
nightsticks?
No,
there
it was a
yeah.
big-
It is right
So yeah,
there.
there's the
And
answer.
it's
High-powered
actually
weapon.
illegal.
Yes.
It's actually illegal, and he's going to, either have a fine or some jail time because he's not that bright. So, you can always have a plastic gun. It's, he's going to a hen's party. They don't really need to see a real
Chads.
gun
Also,
as
just,
part of.
you know what?
He's not even a real SWAT guy. So
Oh, I
come
think you say
on.
a real stripper. I'm like, I think he is.
I think he is.
Smart. What are you talking about? He's driving a Holden HSV and
he's
it's red.
Brand new.
This guy
he goes
knows
fast.
what's going. Yeah,
He's going on.
he knows how to smoke it up.
Anyway, just stick to the tried and tested fireman routine and no one gets in
Yeah.
trouble, right?
That's
Also
right.
making news this morning, Schapelle Corby, she may be interested in that previous story because she is single and ready to mingle. After splitting from her long-term boyfriend, she has taken to her socials to announce she's looking for love, writing on Instagram, "I'm looking for a new four-leaf clover." Shelley, my favourite part is how she's posted the photo with the ex and scrubbed him out.
I go.
So subtle.
That's kind of cute. I like that. I've actually seen that up here in Queensland. You know those family stickers you see on the back of cars where it's like mum and dad and the kids and a dog? Well, one had the dad scrubbed out and it just said position vacant.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
I like that. But I do want to say to Schapelle, don't use Instagram as a dating app. You don't, at least use a dating app where you can look at their profiles and things like that. Instagram is not the way to find someone. She's asked people just to tag themselves. That's going to get a lot of interest, but maybe not from the right people.
Lawrence, the amount of DMs she's going to get now.
yeah.
It's just gonna
Absolutely.
it's going to be
Lining up.
unsanitary. I mean, she's going
If
to have
I
to...
was single, I'd be hitting her up immediately. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I'm way out of Schapelle's ballpark, but I wish her every happiness. I'm a massive Schapelle Corby fan, and she went through 11 years of hard time in Indonesia, and I hope she finds love.
I hope she finds love too. I love her sense of humour about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that shot underneath a plane departing for
It's interesting.
places beyond the sea.
Yeah.
It's an interesting
Yeah,
choice.
where is the runway
What's
for
on
that plane? I think it was an emergency landing.
I'm pretty sure the casting is open for the next season of Married at First Sight. So,
My
Just
God,
saying.
what a genius idea.
Just
there you go.
Hello.
Genius.
I'll make some calls and we'll circle back.
Thank you too.
Thank you, guys. Have a
Pleasure.
great week.
Always a pleasure.
Up next, how Melbourne...